Thanks for watching 22 The Point this evening. Welcome to Highmark Stadium, a rainy Highmark Stadium, where the Pittsburgh Riverhounds take on the Charleston Battery in a critical late-season USL match. I'm Matt Geica, along with Paul Child and Gene Klein. Welcome to the broadcast this evening. The Riverhounds will be without their top scorer, 18-goal man Rob Vincent, tonight, playing one of the top teams in the USL Eastern Conference, trying to get back into the playoff picture. Gene, how do they make up for his absence?
Well, it's very difficult. You really don't make up for a loss of Rob Vincent with 18 goals. But what's going to happen is the Riverhounds are going to have to make a number of adjustments. It's going to cause a little bit of a domino effect because I think Coach Mark Steffens is going to have to move some people around. We're going to see Kevin Kerr probably make an adjustment from his normal position and moving in the middle with Danny Earls. I think we're going to see Matty Dahlman moving up one to the outside midfield. So a few adjustments they're going to have to make, and it's difficult because we've seen that lethal combination of Kerr and Vincent, and now they're not on the field and they're going to be at different spots.
Paul, the Riverhounds have been much better on the road as of late, winning 2 of their last 3, but they've been quite good here at home. Excellent, in fact, with a 6-2-4 record. Why do you think they have been able to get all those points here at Highmark Stadium?
Well, I think it's important when you're playing in your hometown, and you've got a real good crowd. We've had some really good crowds. They know these games are super important anymore. We've got 4 games left. This is the first one of 4, and very important tonight to get 3 points against this team. So they've got to be feeling good about themselves being at home because they've done so well at home as well. And it should be a good game tonight. I think they're going to do well.
Just the second matchup of the season between these two clubs, longtime rivals here in the USL. Gene, a 3-1 loss for the Riverhounds, but that was way back in May down in South Carolina. But what kind of style of play do the Battery usually bring, and how can the Riverhounds counter that?
Well, Mike Anheuser has been here for a long time as a player and as a coach. He's a very well-respected coach for the league. He knows this league inside and out. He knows all the systems and the other opponents. I think we're going to see a very well-organized team. He's always very well-organized in the back. They will make adjustments. They have some very skillful players. We see Dane Kelly, the Jamaican forward, is actually not starting tonight, but he's a really dangerous player. And you're going to see a team that can be creative, but will stay very organized in the back.
Paul, last thing, the Hounds, as you mentioned, 4 matches to go, 2 here at home. If they go 4-0-0 or 3-0-1, they can guarantee a playoff berth. As a player, how much do you think about that, or do you think about that at all?
I don't think you do at all, Matt. You think about tonight. Tonight's the main game. Got to get this one under their belt. They've got to get the 3 points. That's what's super important for them tonight. They just got to go out there and play confident and play comfortable. They got a great win on the road last week against Louisville, so coming in here must make them feel even better. Just go out there, don't make any silly mistakes in the beginning, and then hopefully capitalize and get some shots on goal and score.
The Riverhounds looking for their second consecutive victory. It would be a huge one here tonight against Charleston. Thanks for watching tonight on 22 The Point. We'll have the broadcast for you in just a few moments. The rain has subsided here at Highmark Stadium. The sun is even out as we prepare for Pittsburgh and Charleston for the second and final time this season. But for now, we throw it down to the pitch for the national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose fresh stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts
Great job, Ariel.
Well, this time of the year, gentlemen, and I'm Matt Geico along with Paul Child and Gene Klein, but at this time of the year, guys, it's all about the table. It's all about the USL standings. The Riverhounds technically out of the playoffs, but they do have a game in hand on a couple of teams ahead of them, and they can creep closer to Charleston. In fact, this is a 6-point game this evening. The Hounds trailing the Battery by 4. The Battery are in 4th place, the Hounds in 7th, but that can change in a hurry. We'll go to the starting lineup for this evening's match. Callie Brown, the rookie, gets his 2nd consecutive start, had his 5th clean sheet of the season last week in Louisville. Anthony Arena, as always, on the back line, anchoring it along with Willie Hunt, who has been a stalwart himself. Sterling Flunder, a recent run of good play, has kept him in Mark Steffens' lineup. Kevin Kerr is in the midfield. Danny Earls is back after serving a 1-game red card suspension. Lebo Maloto had another strong game at Louisville. He's on a good run. Boris Zivanovic will be up front, as will Matt Dahlman. Dahlman will play an attacking wing position. Mike Green again at forward. And Ben Noonan, the relative newcomer, about a month here with the Riverhounds, he'll be in a back position, kind of a different spot for him as he came billed as a more of a midfielder than a wing back, but he'll do the latter this evening here against Charleston. The Steel Army is ready, and as I mentioned, the standings are tight. The Riverhounds can ensure a playoff berth, as we mentioned in our open, with a 4-0-0 finish or a 3-0-1 finish. Anything less than those two, anything less than 3-0-1, in fact, and the Riverhounds will leave it up to chance. But even though they are below that red line, they still have a pretty good shot at controlling their fate.
No, they definitely do, Matt. I mean, you look at it, and the teams ahead of them, Richmond and Charlotte, just 1 point ahead of us. Richmond's playing again tonight against Rochester, so that'll be an interesting result for us. And obviously we need to do this one against Charleston and then get up above Charlotte. So important 3 points tonight more than anything.
And a reminder that the Riverhounds have the tiebreak against the Richmond Kickers. That's why I say 3-0-1, because if the Hounds do get a draw in 3 wins, that would put them even with Richmond in a best-case scenario for the Kickers, and the Hounds would have that head-to-head tiebreak. So, Gene, tonight we saw on the starting lineup, we have Matt Dahlman in a forward position, as well as Boris Zivanovic and Mike Green up front. So a different look for the Riverhounds tonight.
Yeah, but that's not an unfamiliar position for Matty Dahlman. He led the league in assists at that spot 2 years ago. So as we see the point leaders for the USL, and of course we're missing the guy in the number 3rd spot, which is Robbie Vincent, and that's a huge loss. But that's going to force Mark Steffens to make a few changes. And I think the one that is going to be the most interesting, as we see Callie Brown nail that one away, is sliding Kevin Kerr back into the central spot next to Danny Earls. He's going to play more of a holding spot, and Matty Dahlman will really take Robbie's spot, and Zivanovic will take Kerr's spot, or vice versa. So other than that, things are pretty good. Ben Newman will go to the outside back. As we said, he's normally been in that holding spot. They're going to put him there, and Sterling Flunder, the capable veteran, will be back out on the outside back spot. So a few changes, and it's going to be one of the things we're going to keep an eye on is how that midfield gels, because we've seen really the genesis of the Hounds and their attack most of the season has come from Vincent and Kerr on the outside, Paul. And of course, Robbie's not here, and Kevin's in a different spot.
So here's Maloto. Lebo Maloto should have had a goal last week, called back on an erroneous offside infraction, driven through by Dahlman. There's a good ball from him. Looked like Noonan handled it, and he did, up into the Charleston penalty area. So Odisnell Cooper, the Jamaican, or the Cuban native, 3rd-year member of the Battery. The keeper will handle this kick from inside of his area. And talking to Mark Steffens, the Riverhounds head coach, Paul, this week, he said that really Rob Vincent was in a holding role down at Louisville to cover up for the absence of Danny Earls. So it's going to be a switch of bodies. Earls back in, but they didn't have Vincent really up in that attacking position anyway last week.
No, so They both can play those positions too. I mean, even Kerr, I'm looking at the lineup right now, and I'm seeing 4 at the back and 2 in front of them, and just outnumbering Charleston right now with players in defense. Kind of like 3 guys up front, and there's a little space there between the midfield and the forwards, but I think they're going to try and get Kerr to go push into those and get Dolman like he did right in the beginning of the game. Get out here wide and get balls across, cause some problems for the defense of Charleston.
Ball bouncing free in the midfield. That's Emmanuel Ajeti, third-year man out of Ghana. Ajeti with the ball at his feet. Knocks it upfield, off the head of Michael Chang. Willie Hunt with the clearance. The Riverhounds 1-0 winners at Louisville City, shutting down the highest scoring team in the league. That highest scoring label had been in the Hounds' possession for a long time. They're still second with 2 goals per game. Louisville just tick above that, but last week it was a clean sheet for Callie Brown and the Hounds, and right when they needed it, a massive result there with now just 4 matches to play, counting tonight.
No, that was a massive result, and it was something that I think was sorely needed for the confidence of the Riverhounds going into this last 4-game stretch, as we see that long ball play to Mike Green, and that is because it was billed as the 2 highest scoring teams in the league with Louisville and the Riverhounds, and to be able to shut down Fondy and Louisville City was extremely important, I think, for the confidence of the team, Paul.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that was a great surprise and a great win for them. Obviously, like we say, the 2 top goal scoring teams, and came down to 1 goal. So doing something right there, defense, and I think that's what Mark's looking for tonight in the beginning of this game. He's keeping it tight, make it very difficult for Charleston in the first 15-20 minutes, and then, like I said, down on the field, going to take some chances, get some shots on goal, hopefully can get one in the back of the net.
Rob Vincent is out, by the way. We've mentioned that a couple of times. He's sitting due to a yellow card suspension. He's gotten 5 on the year. That triggers a 1-game break per USL rules. A couple of the Hounds have gone through that this year, Kerr and Earls, in fact. And so Vincent misses his first match of the season, USL and US Open Cup. This is headed back in by Taylor Mueller, right in onto Cooper, as he dribbles it once and then twice. So Vincent, 18 goals, 3rd in the league, behind Matt Fondy, who Gene told you about, the former Riverhound, has already set the USL goal-scoring record with 21. Didn't get one last week, though, against the Riverhounds. But Vincent at 18, he had a goal last week, and I guess the only negative from last week is the fact that the Hounds will be missing their primary weapon. But they have plenty of offensive
I think they got a lot of those
elsewhere.
here.
Yeah, they have Kevin Kerr, as we just mentioned.
And as I said, I think what's going to happen here, though, Matt, when they know Vincent's not playing, everybody's got to pick it up a notch, and they're going to do that. They realize he's not here, so somebody else has got to take control and say, hey, when I'm on the edge of the box, get some shots off. Here goes Kerr going now. All of a sudden, he's popped up up front, and he was playing in front of the back 4, so now he's kind of changed his role. And Malumbo saying,
well, the one thing we know we're going to get from Kevin Kerr is an incredible work rate.
Yeah,
And he's not going to be a stagnant holding midfielder. He's going to have a lot of movement, and he's going to be all over the field. So Zivanovic slip a little bit there. And
Sniper.
Yeah, Sniper hit him. And I think, too, it's Matty Dahlman is where he's most comfortable, Paul.
Definitely. I think he's in a good spot today, Gino. I mean, Kerr and these other guys are going to try and hit these long balls diagonally across to him. And once he gets out down in this offensive third on the right, he can be so dangerous, as we know, whipping those balls in.
Ajeti playing it through and canceled out by Willie Hunt. Beautifully there. No Dane Kelly in the starting 11 for Charleston. That's a break for the Hounds. 9 goals on the year for the Jamaican. 30 goals in USL play over the past 3 seasons combined.
Yeah, we thought that was strange. Maybe he's got a little knock or something like that, and don't want to take a chance on getting him injured worse. But I'm sure if they go down a goal, that and it's getting late towards the end of the second half, you'll probably see him come in, if not before.
The battery listed as a 3-4-3 coming out, so just 3 on the back, with it looks like Ajeti being the first one from the midfield to help out in defending. Here's Lebo Maloto, though, off to Sterling Flunder.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing Ben Noonan out here at the outside back, Matt. You know, because they have three up there, and he's normally in a holding midfield spot. But as we see here, he can go forward.
Dahlman, the cross, looking for Green maybe, possibly Moloto as well. That's fended away. The Battery in the striped red and black. I didn't know those were their team colors. I thought they were black and gold, but they wear, maybe that's an alternate setup for them with the Hounds in the gold and white. Noonan, Ben Noonan, now his fourth match for the Hounds. After being picked up, he was let go by the Colorado Rapids of MLS, but really he was playing most of his matches with the Charlotte Independents. Mishandle there on the touchline by Flunder, turns the ball over to the Battery. The Battery broke a 6-match winless streak last time out. They were 9-2-7 on July the 18th, looking like a lock to make the playoffs. 1-4-2 since, even counting that 2-0 win at Richmond last week.
Yeah, that's a tough stretch for the Battery, and really unusual for
a rare one,
an organization of their caliber, and that's been very, very consistent throughout the years here, and always a contender for a USL crowd. As we mentioned earlier, I mean, Mike Anhauser has been there for a long time as a player and coach, and he's been very, very successful with the Battery, winning some championships and having a great run a few years ago in the U.S. Open Cup. So that doesn't happen very often, I'm sure, in the Battery organization, for them to have a 6-game winless streak.
They did break it last week, and still in a good position. They can still control their fate too. I was talking about the Hounds doing that as Cooper handles the header from Zach Prince. Prince has missed a couple of matches due to disciplinary reasons, accumulation of yellow cards, but Prince in his 6th year with the Battery. And Gene, you mentioned their run of success in USL championships in 2010 and 2012 in the current format of this league. Also that U.S. Open Cup final appearance in 2008 under Mike Anhauser. He was a former player for the Battery from 94 to 99.
Yeah, we were talking with Mike a little bit before the game, and he was bringing back the old Riverhound days at Bethel Park High School, Paul. So
that's a throwback.
He played there too.
Yeah, well, that's where he was. He was there as a player.
Yeah.
Would have been his final season, 99, right there. He was an assistant from 99 to 04, and since then he's been in charge of Charleston. Here's Brown.
And I believe Mike Anhauser succeeded Chris Ramsey, who's gone on to bigger and better things in the Barclays Premier League, Paul. And
yeah, exactly.
Does very, very well with QPR, yeah.
The deflection, AVL Cordoves tracks it down in the corner. That looked like it might have been out into touch, but play continues on. Danny Earls with the intercept. Earls, Flunder, spins one up through into the midfield area. Mike Green on the run. Your officials for this evening, head referee Bernhard Hosu, Nathaniel Buck, and Ronald Stuver are your assistants, and the fourth official, Justin Mazzeo. Long ball here. Hunt is on the end of it for Pittsburgh. Can't clear it past Michael Chang. El Chino, as he's known.
Chang, one of the, 3 or 4 Cubans I think they have on.
Yes, a great story. They all defected together. Cordoves, Cooper, and Chang defected in 2013. And all are on this squad, obviously. They were in Toronto for a World Cup qualifier with the Cuban national team and decided they were going to
stay,
yes. Stay on the mainland.
And I do remember that created quite a stir because it was a World Cup qualifier, and they were, and all of a sudden some players were missing, which has happened a lot with and a little bit of that this year with the Gold Cup. A few players all of a sudden were no-shows. So
it does occur. Relations with Cuba are softening a bit, but still not a situation where we can completely write off that type of thing happening. Chang, good move, but lost it to Anthony Arena. And it's Cooper again. He had 8 shutouts, I should say, in 2014. Cooper, one of the better keepers in USL in recent years. Just allowed the 1 to the Hounds in that 3-1 loss for Pittsburgh on May 9th. And just 2 meetings this year between these two clubs.
Yeah, that was a tough game down there. I remember watching that game, and I think we got a goal late in the game by Miro, and he was ahead of, but that was about the only shot I saw in the game, actually. I mean, Charleston sort of contained the Hounds really well, made it very difficult for them to get any chances on goal, and played very, very well. But they are always a real good team, usually, Gino, at home. It's very hard to go down to Charleston.
Very, very difficult at Charleston, in addition to playing on a very big field, but a terrific stadium and a terrific venue. And you have to deal with the heat as well. Humidity in South Carolina.
Look at this combination, deflected away, and then Maloto can't guide it on target. That'll spin out for a throw-in, but Kerr won it. Maloto, Green, they were all involved right there.
And that's what we've been talking about, the mobility of Kevin Kerr to be able to make that incisive run in between the defenders and catch them a little bit off guard, and of course played a very quick one-time ball across.
Yeah. And coming from real deep too, Gino. He's got a long run.
I'm saying we know that the work rate is going to be there, and he's going to get into spots that you might not be expected if you're in the back.
Yeah, you're not expecting him to come through, for sure.
Exactly.
And somebody not picking him up will give him that opportunity, hopefully, for a shot on goal.
Yep.
No goals, no cards, nothing in the books yet. 14th minute from Pittsburgh, PA. This is the second to last regular season match for the Riverhounds on their home pitch. And the Hounds here in league play are 6-2-4. Overall, 8-3-4. And even a couple of those draws actually could have easily been wins. So the Hounds have been playing from ahead. They've done a nice job of that, with the exception of that crazy comeback against Harrisburg, of course. Loose ball in the Hounds area, and Callie Brown comes up to snag it. He was very aggressive last week. Callie Brown, Mark Steffen said he's gaining confidence.
Yeah, I know they've had a lot of confidence with him, and really feel that he's improving all the time. And it's, obviously you miss a Jamaican international like Ryan Thompson, but not a huge drop off with Callie. He can play. He's going to give you a terrific
future for the
90
team.
minutes,
sure.
And I think everybody has a lot of confidence in him.
5 shutouts this year. That's tied for 9th in the league with Otis Nell Cooper, the man at the other end of the field, in fact. And the Riverhounds have 5 total in league action. They were all with Callie Brown between the sticks. Over on the far side of the field, that is Anthony Arena picking it up. Second-year Riverhound. Arena, formerly of the University of New Mexico, knocked it diagonally up the field, but that's taken away by Charleston, and the battery can go to work. Dispossessed.
Well done there by Willie Hunt. Yeah, got his toe in there and just stopped that play right away, and did well getting his foot around there and clearing it.
Took it right away from AVL Cordoves. A long ball from Charleston. Flunder corrals and keeps it in touch. There's Kevin Kerr working hard to get back, as we expect from the Scotsman at this point. Kerr had the ball under him for a bit. It's a slippery field. We had torrential might be the only way to describe the downpour that we experienced about an hour before kick.
That's a good ball.
Lead ball, and Green is onside. Mike Green looked to cut it back, but he still has it after that failed attempt. Lays it to Ben Noonan stepping up. Noonan, high cross, back post, Kerr whiffed on it, but the rebound is off a Charleston leg and out over the end line. My goodness, Ivanovic was right there, but it was blocked.
Great block by Charleston, because Ivanovic was right there, and Kerr almost had one, and it was just, as we see, Noonan.
Taylor Mueller blocked this one in the end, as the whiff from Kerr, but it came right to Ivanovic.
Yeah.
You can see there again, Kerr coming from a deep position and getting in that open spot. Nobody's really picking. Don't know whether to pick him up or chase him or keep with him, and it's causing them problems.
Yeah, and so it's going to be. We'll have to see if they make some of those adjustments, because.
Maloto plays it short. Kerr deflected, and a save by Cooper. There's that play again. It's worked before to generate a high-quality chance, and it did again.
And I think it's quite a contrast, Paul, because they're 3 in the back and 4 in the midfield versus pretty much our 4, 2-3-1, and it's whether or not as we said before, I think Ben Noonan has gone to the right side to deal with their 3 forwards.
Exactly.
And we still have Danny Earls sitting and trying to deal with their players in the midfield like Portillo and Van Schaik, but Kerr is the one coming forward, and they have to deal with Greeny, they have to deal with Dahlman, they have to deal with Ivanovic, and then all of a sudden, and worried about Maloto, but we see Kevin coming forward, and it's created a few issues for them, and they're going to have to be a little more careful about that.
Recently, for Charleston, Garbanzo got his first meaningful touch on the ball. He's a rookie. Ricky Garbanzo has played well. A player to watch, number 17 in the black and red. Green skating right by. Plays it square, knocked away, but right back into the waiting feet of Maloto, but it's knocked away from him. So Earls got the possession, fed Maloto. Taken away, and now the Hounds will have to regroup.
Took his eye off it for a split second, thinking about where he was going, and then lost it and went to Charleston. But looking dangerous down this right side, it seems like causing a lot of problems for him here. We got to get those balls whipped in, and get a chance for these forwards like Green to get on it if he's in there, or Mira there.
Yeah, I like this matchup with the Jetke and Matty Dahlman here. Is he going to be able? Because he can go forward too. But we know that Matty Dahlman's really going to push it a little bit and can whip some great balls in. And if Noonan comes up also, that could create a numerical advantage for the Hounds.
Just barely keeping it in. Boris Zivanovic, the Serbian. Zivanovic stringing together some good games. Here's Willie Hunt. Ball on his right foot as he steps up across the midfield stripe. Mike Green, the Ohioan, to Dahlman. Dangerous ball back, and it's taken away, and a chance now for Charleston. On the move here. Nice as it belted away.
Great recovery by Sterling Flunder. Came a long way for that one as Hounds almost got cut off an unforced error in the midfield, and Charleston was very quick going forward.
You got to watch this, because I think he does a really great decision here and comes on the inside of the guy instead of trying to go around the outside.
I think he surprised Cortevez. Did Flunder. He did not look ready for that approach.
I think as the forward was running, he could see him kind of come in peripheral vision on his right, and then all of a sudden thought he was okay to go to his right, and he come around the inside.
Corner.
Call that a veteran move. Set pieces have been a struggle for the Hounds. That one just goes wide, though.
Willie Hunt alertly putting that one over.
Sean Ferguson was at the near side post.
They're trying to say that he came off the Charleston player, but looks like the referee is having nothing to do with that, and it's going to be a corner kick to Charleston.
Yeah, I saw it the referee's way as well. So a second consecutive corner here. The Hounds have had one. Now Charleston with the pair. This one goes back post. Brown got a hand to it, and it's still free and in play. After Earls couldn't clear, a drive and a save, rebound. They score. Flag up offside.
Whoa.
Wow, that quickly off the rebound. It appeared that Garbanzo had put the visitors ahead. Instead, it's an offside call.
Yeah, we're a little bit lucky there, the Hounds, because that was a great ball back into the box and shot, and keeper couldn't do much else but get down and palm that one to the back out.
Tough one to hold on to, and
the Hounds back line was able to push up just enough to get that call.
Yeah, very alert on the part of the back line to get out of there. And normally you see that's a tough one to move because there were so many players around, and and thank goodness they were alert enough to get out of the back.
Hunt with the intercept and a step up field by Kevin Kerr. Regains possession for the Hounds, who have had 2 or 3 struggling moments here in the last minute or so. But now Hunt settling it down, spinning it upfield, too far for Ben Noonan.
This is where we should really press a little bit, Gino. Keep him in this end. It's a throw in. Try and keep him here. Keep the ball in this, the offensive end of the field.
No, I see Noonan and Willie Hunt up, so I think that's what they're trying to do, Paul, because we're really shifted over here, and Willie Hunt way up, Noonan way up, and it was really just Sterling and Anthony Arena that stayed back. So,
yep.
I think they agree with you. They saw that opportunity and try to keep it here, and it's going to result in a free kick for Danny Earls and the Riverhounds.
Maloba very lucky there to get away with that one, because he didn't really jump for the ball and kind of stood there, and the player got penalized for getting on his back, but we'll take it.
The Battery contending that Maloto undercut Cordoves, but the foul called, first foul of the match in fact, called against Abiel Cordoves. 23rd minute. Earls, left foot, it's in the area, punched out two-fisted by Cooper.
That's where you want it, Paul. Maybe just a little bit, maybe a little bit too high for him, the keeper, to read it.
Yeah, a little bit too high, giving him more time to kind of get out there and get a punch on it, Gino.
There's a good move. Maloto nearly escaping, moving in tight quarters. Could not get past that sliding keeper. The ball got away from him a little too far. But yes, the Riverhounds have used this right flank often and have looked good doing it. Although we are still scoreless. There's our first foul call as if on cue against the Hounds.
I think it was on Willie Hunt.
Not a good situation here. Good location for Charleston here on a free kick. But
yeah, and they've looked very dangerous on these. That's
any dead ball situation that Charleston usually pretty good at.
So standing over this one, Justin Portillo, second-year player from Coastal Carolina. There are a couple of Chanticleers from CCSU on this Charleston team. Chip play, back post, and Cordoves couldn't get a clean head to it.
Do those people from Coastal Carolina admit that? Chanticleers?
Chanticleers. It's a fictional character. I looked this up once. I was curious. From a Chaucer novel, so it's very strange. Yes, goodness. But one of those random facts that occasionally comes into good use.
I'd like to see that mascot at halftime.
I think it's some sort of a rooster or a bird. I kid you not. But anyway, we move on here in the 25th minute with Kerr stepping back to help out. We know what a Riverhound looks like. Battery, kind of more of a nebulous concept, more of a concept than a mascot. They play up the pirate theme down at Blackbaud Stadium.
I think that was actually an old Civil War thing.
Stepping by Cordoves, and he has taken a knock here, and he's down. He was calling for the trainer right away. And Bobby Weisenberger, the ATC on the sideline for Charleston, is going to make it over, being urged along by the head referee. It looked like maybe a spike to the leg was my best guess as to
I don't know.
how he went down
I think
so
he pulled
fast.
a hamstring.
Oh, really? Okay. It looked like there was a Riverhound's foot up, at least at waist height. We'll see here on this replay, maybe.
No, he just pulled a hammy. He's grabbing that left one.
Yep, grabbing at the back of the left leg. That's a signature move. Yep.
The way he grabbed that usually means a substitution, Paul.
You knew it straight away. You know, once I saw him grab his leg, I thought, boy, because I thought somebody clipped him, but he then realized that.
I think he got knocked off balance a little bit, and he stretched a little bit more and landed on that, and then just pulled it right away. So that's not good for the Battery, and as we see their trainer motioning for the substitution, as we kind of figured, when you see a guy grab it back there, it's seldom they stay on.
This is going to be interesting. It's only this is a forward that's coming off.
Yeah.
There aren't many subs for Charleston on this trip.
They got 4 subs, players, and 1 goalkeeper sub. So it's probably going to be Kelly, I would think.
Unless he's too banged up to go, but we shall await that decision. Cordoves, this would be a large loss for Charleston. 5 goals, 1 assist on the year, 5 goals, second on the club.
Yeah, it's Kelly coming on, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to have to be the number 9 in more ways than one, Dane Kelly. Wears 9 goals, team leading 84 shots. This will be his 24th appearance in 25 matches. The Jamaican national takes over for his teammate from Cuba, who is really struggling getting off the playing surface. So Kelly in the 28th minute technically.
We said it might get in there for some reason, we thought, if they were probably losing or whatever, but obviously didn't expect him in this quick, I would think. So
yeah, I would think if they did not start him, they didn't expect that he could go 90. So, no. But he is a dangerous player. Now, Hounds are going to have to keep up with him. And
crossed right through, and there was Kelly lurking.
He was in there, and Sterling Flunder again alertly knocks that one out, but it's going to be another corner for Charleston. I think that's their third, Matt?
It is indeed.
This is where they've looked dangerous too. I hate to say that,
yeah,
but
they're really.
And the Riverhounds did a nice job avoiding these types of set-piece situations last week against Louisville.
Ball. Well done by
to the
Callie
near post.
Brown.
Brown gets out there. Kelly Brown smothered it. And the Riverhounds have it. Arena dumped from behind. That'll be a foul, an easy call.
Arena very smart there, Paul. I mean, he really didn't have any options. The ball, he was fighting the ball a little bit, and he sensed, he checked his shoulder, saw that guy coming behind him, and he just sort of slowed down and
knew that he was going to get
a good foul. Yep.
Yeah, very professional play that.
Yeah.
Because he knew the ball wasn't in the right place for him to get a kick on it, so or get it to where he wanted it to. So.
Arena knocking it upfield.
Yeah, we keep
Green
pinging these
couldn't
balls.
get on the end of it though.
Danny
Earl steps in and commits the foul, or pardon me, that's Ivanovic, number 18, not 16.
I think Danny actually made the foul, or was it Ivanovic? And they were both right there. They were both in that same spot.
Never surprised when Danny's mixing it up.
Well, that's I guess that's why I thought it was Danny. He was in the middle of it, but I don't know if Ivanovic fouled him prior to that.
Thanks for watching tonight's match on USLsoccer.com. We've got all of them for you. Play for the reaching Dane Kelly was just over his head by about a foot. Goal kick Pittsburgh. USLsoccer.com bringing you every regular season and playoff USL match in high definition. And right now, I'd like to welcome all of our viewers watching on 22 The Point. Thanks for tuning in. Rain throughout the area had postponed, or pardon me, delayed the previous game you were watching. This one, no delay, but it was quite the weather event here at Highmark Stadium about an hour before kickoff, but we're nice and dry right now for this matchup between Pittsburgh and Charleston. Another corner kick conceded by the Hounds. I'm Matt Geica with Paul Child and Gene Klein. They're both on the color analysis. The Riverhounds in need of points, and playing at home makes it all the more important.
Another tough situation again coming up, Matt. This corner kick is the fourth one now, Gino?
Yeah,
fifth?
fourth one, yeah.
And we've got to keep our heads together here and pick up well.
We're really attacking that near post. We'll see if they change it up.
Driven low. Brown again got there.
Threw it there. Callie Brown, as big as he is, can only get a fist on those, and they're dangerous. They're in swingers. They're a dipping ball. That's a difficult ball to defend.
Yeah,
and they played it over that first defender there, zoning at the near post.
Yeah.
That was Navian Boyd looking to clean up that deflection, but he had it skid away from him, so the Riverhounds get possession. And it is Callie Brown, the rookie out of the University of Virginia, ready to boot it downfield. Just about 15 minutes to go in this opening half.
Good crowd too, man. A lot of people turning up. All of us, I know at the beginning of the game looked pretty bad, but now stadium really pretty full, and good to see.
Looks like at least 3/4 full here.
Yeah.
Including in the Paul Child stand, freshly named to our right, where the Steel Army supporters section makes its home.
We're still waiting for that sign, though.
Yeah, we've got to get.
Yeah, where is that, by the way?
It should be on top of the Safe Steel Army sign.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, the gold leaf lettering. That's it.
It'll be coming soon, believe me.
I might never get it if it's gold leaf.
Here's another restart. Charleston's had a few of these lately in the Riverhounds attacking third. Pittsburgh doesn't want to make a habit out of this. Left-footed cross off the head of Kevin Kerr and skidding over
corner.
The byline. Corner number 5 for the Battery.
Too many.
Yeah, way too many. And I think it's Van Schaik who's really whipping those balls in with that left peg pole. And it all been very, very dangerous.
And this guy,
Portillo will take this one once again. Betting on an in-swinger here from Justin.
Go far
It's a
post
high
that time,
ball,
Kelly.
and it's hit it off the woodwork.
and still in play, and they'll stop for a
Still
second.
alive. Everyone's looking around, wondering where the ball ended up. It was just about a foot inside the byline. Now a bicycle kick plays it back into the mix, but the Hounds push it up and out. Still free. Zivanovic and Hunt teamed up and eventually do win possession.
Hounds are going to have to be a little careful with this. They've been way too dangerous on these set pieces. Matt, I think you pointed that out earlier. It's been a troublesome spot for the Hounds where they seem to switch off sometimes with that and have conceded some untimely goals off a corner or off a set piece, and they have to stay alert like they have done so far. They've been very alert and been first to the ball, but these are dangerous balls as we watch this one.
Let's take a look here.
Kelly right there and bangs that one off the post. Really got some big time ups there, Paul, to get on top of that one.
Dane Kelly right there, and doesn't take many minutes for him to be sharp and ready to go.
Yeah, that's the 5th corner, Gene, I was talking about, and they've looked very, very dangerous every time they've had a corner. So we've got to kind of try and chop that down and make it difficult for them to get these corner kicks off.
Close call with Kelly in Brown's face. Brown just got it away.
But I think, Paul, we need the Hounds to start controlling the tempo a little bit. So far, it's been completely in Charleston's favor. They're controlling it the way that they want it. You know, they're using their creativity. I mean, the 3 forwards are giving us some difficulty, and we've been maybe a little too direct. And we talked about these new combinations in the midfield, and it's going to take a little bit of time maybe for them to gel and figure it out. Yep.
Again, no Rob Vincent for the first time this year, but Danny Earls is back. Kevin Kerr is here in the midfield, as is Maloto. Ben Noonan, you see here on the near side of the field, stepping well up the pitch.
Yeah, and Dolman dropping back for him kind of here on the right flank defensively.
Maybe an interchangeable situation.
It looks like Mark Steffen's going to the bench here already with Tyler Pasher.
Pasher getting his faculties together on the touchline.
Who do you think he's going to go in for, Gino? I haven't seen the sign.
I haven't seen anybody hurt. I mean, it's obviously it's going to be on that left side somewhere. Either he's pulling Sterling Flunder, who's been very solid, or maybe Zivanovic out there.
Zivanovic, I would think, because he seems to be, he's not getting much of the ball, and he's when he gets it, he's really knocking it backwards and not getting any pressure on it.
And that's really going to force Charleston to make a bit of an adjustment because of the fact that they have Pasher's speed coming out there on that left side. They're going to have to be very alert with that.
Dahlman sends it up, and there is Zivanovic. Just speaking about him, he made a good play on the far side on the one touch to get it through to Flunder on the combination, but here comes Tyler Pasher, and a rare first half substitute for Mark Steffens and the Riverhounds this year. Pasher is in the 36th minute, and Ben Noonan will be coming out.
Wow.
So Noonan has a seat.
Well, we didn't figure that one.
No.
Unless he has a knock, an injury. I'm not sure.
Pasher's been traditionally used exclusively, I think, on the left side of the field. So we'll see how they rearrange this.
We're seeing Matty Dahlman drop back. We're seeing Matty Dahlman drop back to the right midfield. Zivanovic will come over to the right side, and Pasher will be in front of Sterling Flunder and at 4-2-3-1.
Yeah. He's got an injury, actually. He's got a bad right calf or left calf.
He's checking him out. So
he's talking to the trainer, and we got to see him. So I thought that was strange.
Yeah, both teams some substitutions, and I think substitutions are going to hurt both teams. They certainly didn't plan on that. I mean, Mark Steffens made that adjustment with Noonan to go to right back for a specific reason, and I thought Matty Dahlman was looking very lively on that right side, and now he has to pull back, a little bit different mentality.
Dahlman defends Chang here, sends it upward, offside, with Kelly turning to blast, but all for naught.
Yeah, 2 defenders caught inside in front of the offensive number 9 there, and I thought he was going to be offside, but it took the linesman a while to realize he was getting the ball, and then he did decide he was in his offside position.
So at least for the rest of this first half, Zivanovic will be on the right flank. He's calling for the ball now from Brown. And then maybe at halftime, another adjustment. But for now, the Hounds patching it together. Dahlman from that right wing-back spot at the moment. Moloto gathers in.
His ball straight up the middle too, Gino, to Green is really, I don't think he's won maybe 20-30% of them compared to the defense. So I think we've got to start going wide like that and get people going down the, open this game up, going down wide and getting some crosses in and hopefully getting some.
Yeah, and we need to see, I'd love to see Moloto and Kevin Kerr continuing, if we do find those lanes inside to Michael Green, that they can come in off of them and get some movement in there, Paul. Because if he gets that support, if we are able to find Mike Green's feet, then we can have some players playing off them a little bit. So I'd like to see a little bit more, and want to see what Pasher does coming in there.
Yeah.
Hunt too far.
Yeah, because he's pushed up too, and he's got the speed to go through those spaces.
He's pushed up more as that outside midfielder, which becomes pretty much a left winger.
So the Hounds, who look to switch it up, now have to defend. They've been trying that left side a little more often in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Brown volleys it out into the defensive midfield. It's Danny Earls, the Irishman. Earls,
nice switch.
Team captain, puts it right on the money for Lebo Moloto of South Africa. Moloto, a step over to Green. Not a good return pass from Green, and
Matty Dahlman was wide. He was on.
Moloto draws this foul against Chang. Quick restart.
Good quick restart. Very good quick restart.
I would have gone crazy at Moloto there if I was Dahlman, because he made a tremendous run down there, and then he decided not to give it to him, and he was obviously the man that should have got the ball. But,
I mean, when you have that counter going and you have those players off the ball like that, and Matty Dahlman making that run, I think you got to deliver that thing.
Yeah, just knock it into the space, because he's
deliver that early ball. There's no decision to make. They're backpedaling, they're on their heels. Play that early ball.
Because when he looked up, Gino, into the middle, you could see a lot of black and red shirts, so it's automatic. There's one guy with Dahlman, and he's behind the play, so give it to him.
Well, I think that's what we mentioned earlier too, Paul. We have to get up, get into the tempo a little bit and start controlling the tempo, and that's a way that we can do, because that's really the strength of the Riverhounds. The movement off the ball, the quickness of players like Kevin Kerr and Matty Dahlman that can get off the ball and get into spots in behind, and we don't need to slow it down there in the middle.
No.
Aerial battle, Mike Green from Strongsville, Ohio, gets to it, but lost possession to Garbanzo eventually. Ricky Garbanzo, through ball away from Dane Kelly. And it's Earls. Out wide, Flunder.
There he goes.
Right up the field to Pasher. Turns on the Jets. Tyler Pasher keeps it in play. On through.
Good run.
Running onto it, Mike Green. Back to Pasher.
Cooper was
Green
way out
again.
the goalkeeper.
Yes, Cooper was off his line. I saw that flash of light blue jersey, and
Green should have hit that first time with his left foot across the box. I would have thought. I don't suppose we're going to get to see it again. But
I think he was determined to give it right back. Didn't think that there might be an option to let it fly. But the Hounds have a deep throw. Green. The toss to the 6. Hunt elevating. Did not win it, but the ball is still up for grabs. All the way over there on the far side.
Got some bodies over here.
It's Dahlman for Kerr, a floating header, and Cooper gets his hands to it rather easily.
No trouble for Cooper, that one. Too high and floaty. Give him plenty of time.
Belts it
This is a
upfield.
dangerous situation here.
Chance for Garbanzo. Thought he flubbed that pass, but still Kelly runs over to get it. Dane Kelly, shifty move. The cross, it's blocked by Arena. Corner kick again, and then Arena gave Kelly a bit of a shove. And nothing is going to come from that, it appears. Corner kick number 6 to just 1 for the Hounds. And remember, Kelly hit the post off a header on the Battery's best chance about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, just got in too, I think. So it was a good situation. Here's another one, though, Matt, coming up. These corners have been bad.
Portillo will take it. Brown snatches it.
Yeah, we'll take those kind of corners where the big guy can come out and pick those up like picking apples from a tree, you know.
Apples, cherries, whatever you want to say, yeah. Whatever's high, Kelly Brown can get it usually. He's your best bet.
When he's 6'5", you think he's got a chance, right?
I would think so. Again, just the ideal frame for a keeper, Kelly Brown. Athletic,
really
played some basketball in high school as well as soccer, and really came into his own in his last 2 years at the University of Virginia for the national champions. Flunder has a go from Rob Vincent territory, but that's blocked. And taken on by Garbanzo.
Had 4 yellow shirts to go through and did well there. The Hounds recovering and winning this ball back.
It was forced through by Garbanzo, and Willie Hunt gladly took that. Moloto to Kevin Kerr. Kerr unable to get past Emmanuel Ajeti, who had stepped back from the midfield spot. But Kerr, tenacious as always, wins it again. Earl's running away from us, plays it further to that side.
You always see that too, don't you, Matt, with Kerr? You know, once he loses the ball, it's like a double effort to make it and get back, and that's what I love to see about him. He just, that kind of ignites him to get back and win the ball back again.
Nothing like giving it up to make you want to go back and get it again. That's some real motivation, survival instinct right there from Kevin Kerr. It's Pasher, Tyler Pasher, the Canadian-born player, first year on the Hounds. Pasher in as a substitute. 36th minute, replacing the injured Ben Noonan. Noonan was playing on the right side, Pasher's on the left on that wing, and playing up front really with Sterling Flunder manning the left edge of the Riverhounds back line still.
There goes Green on a run, but nobody saw him. Arena didn't. There's a nice ball.
Through for, well, looking for Zivanovic, but heading that off at the pass was Odisnell Cooper.
Hounds getting back into the game a little bit here in these last 5 minutes or so, Matt. They've really had a lot more possession than Charleston. So I tried to put some pressure on them, making it difficult for them to get it out. And great win there by Arena. And you know, Danny Earl's going to be battling for that one.
He is, and so is Moloto, joining up to win the ball back. Brown takes care of a somewhat dangerous ball back to him. Not really, but with the pitch being a little bit wet, you can never be too careful. Throw in for Charleston right near the midfield line.
3 minutes extra time.
Almost all, I would imagine, accounted for because of the injury to AVL Cordoves. Hamstring pull, we believe.
Oh, there goes Passion. That's what you need. And
putting the pressure on, nearly won it. Taylor Mueller was being a little casual with that play, and Pasher nearly made him pay for it.
That's what's so good about him, you know. He's flying, and they don't realize how quick he's closing down the ground, and they think they've got time, and then all of a sudden he's in your face. So did a great job there getting down that line.
Cleared out by the Battery.
Well, one there again. Arena winning that one. 2 players against 1 there. Nice switch of play.
Green puts some air under it, and it's Moloto near the touch line. Matty Dahlman
looking for this ball in.
And Moloto, Green, you saw that 1-2 coming. Moloto's going to get there in time, but he stubbed it, and it's taken over by Charleston.
Boy, he wants to kick himself, I'm sure, because what a great opportunity to cut that ball back to the penalty spot, have somebody coming in and slot that ball away.
Whistle for a stoppage. The 4th official, Justin Mazzeo, wanted Dahlman to step back a little bit more toward the exact center of the field, and he did for the throw. It was given up, but chipped right back by Navion Boyd, and the Hounds have possession.
That's a good long ball if you can get on the end of it.
Ajeti lets it go, and Mike Green will gladly take. Ajeti plays it out.
Chance here for one last option, opportunity to get a shot on goal. Hopefully we can create something.
Aloto, Dahlman volleying across, but that's played away. Hunt stepped up, colliding with Dane Kelly. It'll be a throw for the visitors, though. Michael Chang.
Charleston obviously just wasting the time here, letting their player tie his shoe up, and obviously want to get out of the off the field for this first half and regroup.
Our Gene Klein is down on the sideline. He will have an interview with Riverhounds head coach Mark Steffens, we presume, as soon as we hear the whistle for the half. But first, Pasher has other ideas. Tyler Pasher knocks it ahead about 15 yards and catches up to it.
I didn't think he was going to catch that one, but he fooled me again.
I've learned not to doubt him. Aloto running through, couldn't take that return pass from Green cleanly. Foul against the Hounds. Got to imagine this is about it for the first half. Bernhard Hosu looks at his watch, and there is the double whistle. No score at the half. Closest call off the head of Dane Kelly, and he collided that shot with the posts off a corner kick. The Hounds had some looks early and late, but nothing for either team on the score sheet. And here's Gene Klein. He's just about ready to talk to Mark Steffens as we look for his assessment of the first half. Gene, what do you have for us?
Hi, everybody. We're here with head coach Mark Steffens. Mark, tight game as expected. 0-0 at halftime. Had an unexpected adjustment with Ben Newman. How are things looking for second half, and how are we dealing without the loss of Robbie Vincent?
Yeah, we're not having Robbie. Obviously, it takes a big scoring threat away for us. And that's, I think, one of our big problems right now. We're possessing really well. We're knocking it around pretty well. We're just not getting really good scoring opportunities. So we'll keep working on that and really try to work the flanks a little bit more, I think, the second half to start crossing some balls.
You inserted Tyler Pasher into the lineup. He brings another gear, doesn't he? And can we expect to see him pushing forward a little bit in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we told him before he went in. He's got some good speed. He's got a pretty good service, and we just need him to get behind on the flank a little bit and hopefully, drive a few balls, and maybe we'll get on the end of one.
Coach, thanks very much. Good luck second half.
Thank you.
Thank you. Matt Geika, Paul Child, back to you.
That's Gene Klein. Thank you, Gene, for the interview with Mark Steffens. And as we would expect, Tyler Pasher in there for his speed and to try to create something. What can the Hounds do to, like Coach Steffens mentioned, try to get some more scoring opportunities in the second half?
Well, I think what he said, Matt, he's got to, when we said that earlier on in the broadcast, we've got to get down these flanks. These balls into the center for the central defenders are very easy for them to win. We're not going to win the percentage we need to, and we don't have anybody else there knocking the ball off to. If there's Green there and he wins it, there's nobody there for them to pick it up. So we got to get down the wings, and that's where we got to get bodies in the center circle, on the penalty spot, looking for these crosses and get on the end of something. But as you can see, we know Pasha has the speed. We just saw it just before the end of the half. He can fly, and if he can get down that line, cut the ball back to the penalty area, somebody coming in and slot the ball away.
The possibilities are there. This match is up for grabs. We'll step aside here on 22 The Points. When we come back, I'll have a chat with Riverhounds President Richard Nightingale talking about his first year here in Pittsburgh. Battery nil, Riverhounds nil after 45. We'll return to Highmark Stadium in just a moment. Welcome back to Highmark Stadium. Here in the booth, no score at the half between Pittsburgh and Charleston. I'm Matt Geica, and very pleased to be joined by the president of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Richard Nightingale. Richard, thanks for the time here at the half. A tense match still up for grabs, but a good night for soccer once again here in Pittsburgh. What are your impressions of Pittsburgh as a soccer town, the vitality of the sport here in the city after about 8 or 9 months here in Western Pennsylvania?
Yeah, the city of champions, high expectations, and if I recall, we started March 25th, 17-degree weather, just over 1,000. I think as the season's gone on, more and more people have come out. We've played a good level, and we're earning, supporters back one by one, and I know the whole organisation is very grateful. People who've come out, we've had just, rain, thunder, we've had everything, I think, and I can't remember when they had the first good in terms of weather and sun, but it's a great sports city, everybody knows that, and we'll keep moving forward. Very pleased, but a lot more to come and a lot more work to do. So,
well, one thing that stands out for me from this summer is the match against DC United in U.S. Open Cup. What an atmosphere that was. Is that something you can point to and look to as an example of what soccer can really be like here in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I think the whole community came together, and it was like, rally, you have kind of the David and Goliath. And it was just a different atmosphere. I mean, the Steel Army there are a game in, game out, but there were people down here just who'd probably never been to a soccer match. It was, it was a tense atmosphere. We actually should have won it in regulation. I think Drew Russell hit the post with a header. Yep. But everybody, to see everybody crowding onto the, the side of the fields, it was such an intense atmosphere. And we need to bring that experience every game, because I'm talking to the players, I know it spurs them on, and I think the fans want that as well. So, part and parcel going forward, we want to replicate that every regular season game. In this league, you have to win at home. Tonight being, a prime example, and fans, whatever sport it is, they can be, in this sport, the 12th man and take it over the top. So, we're going to get in the playoffs this year, and then, as I've said all along, going to win the Eastern Conference, going to win the USL Championship. So, we need the support of the fans that Pittsburgh are known for. So,
well, a broader question for you to wrap up this. Soccer in America, it's never been more popular. We just witnessed that here in Pittsburgh with the U.S. women's national team coming in. What a turnout at Heinz Field. But in general, going back to the World Cup last year for the men's side as well, I've never seen a bigger buzz for the sport. How can the Riverhounds ride that wave?
Yeah, I mean, I was at Heinz, 44,000. I was at the World Cup, and it's. We need to, good product on the pitch, but a great fan experience. I mean, I think, with what we're doing at our academy as well here, there's a lot of great clubs around town that there's good coaching going on, and we need to, provide the opportunities for, players to move through the pyramid of football, I would call it, from club, whether it's U23, and then, have a chance to play professionally here in the USL, earn that chance to, earn an MLS contract. And but the USL, just in general, fastest growing league, I think fair to say worldwide, and teams coming in next year. You've got the Union, Lehigh Valley, Cincinnati are in, Orlando, so there'll be more home games here. Competition will be tougher, and the standard will continue to rise. So it all bodes well, and as I say, we need to come together as a community, really get behind the team, and we need to put a good product on the pitch, and players, and just have a great experience down here on the south side. We're a club of the city. We want people to come from the suburbs, south side, north shore, really get together, come down here 7 o'clock Saturday night, and really, a game and a great experience. So it bodes well, and thank the Schallenberger family for their continued support of soccer in Pittsburgh, and also great partners like Allegheny Health. So we've got a good base of players, and we're just going to move on from this, and hopefully tonight see the first step in that next getting to the playoffs. So.
It's a fun time to be involved with soccer, fun time to be involved for the Riverhounds for myself personally and all the thousands of fans who've been through the gates here at Highmark Stadium this year. Richard, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Thanks for all you do, and to Point 22, WPGH, and everything for their support this year. Have been fantastic partners. So.
We'll be back on 22 The Point with the second half. Riverhounds and Battery. Match still up for grabs here tonight.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big welcome again to the Olympic Flames for their halftime match participation. Again, thank you, Olympic Flames.
Wrapping up the halftime break. Battery nil, Riverhounds nil, as you see on your screen right there. I'm Matt Geica, bringing you the play-by-play tonight on 22 The Point and the USL YouTube channel. Halftime stats, not too much in terms of offense for either side. 4 shots apiece, a couple of saves for Callie Brown on the Riverhounds goal. 6-1 corners. That's the thing that really stands out from the first half. The Battery generating chances off the set piece. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Second half is ready to go in just a bit. Back for the starts of the second half. We're still seeking out our first goal tonight. Thanks for watching on 22 The Point. This is Riverhounds soccer in the USL, United Soccer League. The Charleston Battery are in town for their only trip to Pittsburgh of the season. The Riverhounds in need of 3 points to stay on top of things in terms of qualifying for the USL playoffs. They're 1 point out of the final playoff spot with 4 matches to go, including this one. Just 2 of those at home. The Hounds back on the road next week at Wilmington. Long trip down to southern North Carolina. Then the Rochester Rhinos in for the final home match of the season on Wednesday. A Wednesday match to finish it up on the 16th of September. Here's Lebo Moloto. Chipping it across, I'm Matt Geico with Paul Child and Gene Klein. Dahlman, the cross, elevating for it, but unable to get there was Boris Zivanovic, and cleared up and out by the Battery.
Yeah, but Boris there really just easily taken away from him there from the defender. Just saw the ball and didn't quite get enough lift on it, and couldn't get to it and flick it on.
Looks like Riverhounds have not made any changes. Of course, they had to make the substitution for Ben Noonan due to an injury, which forced Matty Dahlman to move back to outside back, and brought in Tyler Pasher to go into Dahlman's spot. And Tyler Pasher, I thought, brought in some life to the team, Paul. The last 10 minutes of the first half.
No, definitely did, and we know he can. And we got to really try and get that going, Gino. Both flanks, getting people down there and getting crosses in, so we can get some shots on goal.
Dane Kelly, nifty little move to win possession. He's got an open man there. It's Boyd, and it's blocked.
Yeah, and Dane Kelly, who came on as a substitution after an injury to Cordova, he brought a lot of life, I thought, to Charleston. So it sort of livened the game up a little bit. Both teams very cautious in the first half.
Yeah, nobody really taking any chances, really trying to suss each other out, Gino, and kind of feel it out and see where the dangers are. And obviously some changes had to be made because a couple of players on both teams got injuries, and so the coach is changing their formation a little bit.
And as we've talked about, Matt, you had pointed out at the beginning, it's a
6-point
game, and it's huge, and I think you can sense the tension that's there for both sides. They're very, very cautious, afraid to make any mistakes. We have seen the midfield, with maybe the exception of Kevin Kerr, pretty much stayed home.
Yep.
And not a lot of mobility out there.
And again, I think this is the first 10 minutes of this second half. You're going to see them both trying to make sure nobody makes any mistakes and gives the ball away in a bad situation.
Paul, you also mentioned a goal in the first 10 minutes of this half would be particularly important for the Hounds. Why do you say that? Well,
I just think it would just really motivate them and really send that spark through the team, and that's what you'd like to do when you play. You come out the second half and just get some opportunities and kind of like put the other team on the heels, Matt. They'd start panicking a little bit, making more mistakes, so hopefully can jump on those kind of things. So
no, that's absolutely true, Paul. And I think it can lift the crowd a little bit, get everybody behind them, and they're going to have that little bit of confidence that, hey, we know we're that much closer to picking up crucial points here in this playoff race.
And you'd think the Battery might take a draw if they can get out of here with it. Kelly juggling for a moment, but it was taken away.
Yeah,
Moloto battling.
I think the Battery will be very content to come out of here 0-0 and still maintain a 4-point edge over the Riverhounds. And obviously, and what we have to be careful of is I think they're going to stay relatively cautious. We talked about at the beginning of the telecast, they're going to be very organized. They're going to stay relatively cautious, and they're going to count on where they've been very, very dangerous on corner kicks and set pieces.
Yeah, dead ball situations. The Charleston's looked very dangerous and been very close, hitting the post with one header. And
Kelly pokes that wide with the toe.
That's where we've got to make sure we don't give anything away.
Oh, they've awarded a corner here. Bernard Hosu, the referee, arguing it a bit with, well, He's not arguing. He's asserting Willie Hunt is trying to argue the call, but a deflection is the ruling, and Charleston benefits from that.
Well, we just said that they have to be very alert on these corners.
Justin Portillo again will handle it from the left flank if you're looking via the Charleston perspective. Hosu came in to admonish, looked like, Boris Ivanovic for wrestling there in the 6-yard area. It is in the 6-yard box and quickly cleared out by the Hounds. Body on body right in the danger zone, and that helped the ball skid away harmlessly.
Malogo doing well there finally. That's great. Good move there.
Yes, well done, and he feeds it to Tyler Pasher. Cuts back against the grain, ran into Boyd, and then Boyd shoved Pasher right into Maloto.
I think Boyd had a couple fouls there, and they finally picked up that last one.
And this one
I don't think he's
may
going
lead to a booking. I thought he was going to be carded for that, but apparently not. It was an unsportsmanlike play at any rate.
See
if you watch Boyd here after the collision,
just punched him in the
pushes
shoves him right into his teammate.
I think it has to be a booking, and for just a push of nothing else. I mean, I believe there was a foul before that, and then it could have been dangerous.
No, it really could. I'm surprised they got up so quickly. I thought they both clashed heads or something like that, because that kind of thing can happen when you get shoved in the back. You're not expecting it, and just the other player coming in to help you out and just collide.
Yeah,
looked ugly. I know that.
Here's Dahlman.
That's
Dahlman,
a good ball.
the dangerous in there, and it's in! It squeezes
Brilliant
through.
ball.
Cooper almost made the save, but it's Kevin Kerr. You knew it was him because he shot the bow and arrow. Give me fuel, give me fire. Kevin Kerr on the board with his 9th of the season. Just nudged it past the outstretched hand of Cooper, got it under him.
Yeah. Tremendous service from Matty Dahlman. Whips it in. Kevin Kerr on the back post. Gets on the end of it. We see it here.
Perfect cross. Look at that. Kevin just waiting for it. Keeper did very well there. Got a hand on it, but couldn't push it out. And everybody else just standing and watching. So.
But yeah, they're standing and watching. Charleston definitely switches off and forgot about Kevin Kerr. Came through. Matty Dahlman picked him up.
Yeah.
Superbly, and Kevin Kerr gets on the end of that.
That's just like
from Kevin Kerr.
That's just like Vincent setting up Kerr usually with his curling balls that come into the box, you know. And we've seen a few goals this year from that situation, and it was nice to see now. But as I said, this is a super important goal. First 10 minutes of the second half, very important. Now we've got to just calm down, keep possession, and don't give any silly mistakes.
And right away, we just talked about how important that was to get a goal here early, and you can sense the excitement level and the atmosphere picking up incredibly after that one. Crowd on their feet after that goal. So the Riverhounds now have to be smart and manage this game and take advantage of their spots if Charleston starts open the game up a little bit.
Yeah, because they definitely will.
There's your opening 10-minute goal in the second half, Paul. You pointed right to the scoreboard clock when that was
I don't know. I think you were
in
3
the back
minutes
of the
off.
net.
That was 7 minutes in.
Sorry, guys, I messed up.
Garbanzo has it taken away, and
messed up again.
Earls and Hunt team up.
No, but
to knock it downfield.
I mean, it's so true. I mean, the call that you made, 10 minutes in would be great, and that's exactly what the Hounds need, and we'll see if they take advantage of it.
No. And this is where we got to, you know, it's kind of got the Louisville game back over again, and now, you know, managing the game, Gino, as we always talk about, and just making sure, hey, everybody's back and working hard and picking up, and don't give anything silly away.
And all of a sudden we see Charleston's game picking up a little bit, because as we said, they were quite content to keep it very, very tight and very cautious, and you know, we were worried about Charleston on the set piece, and it's the Hounds on the set piece.
Funny how that works sometimes, but when you have the skilled right foot of Matt Dahlman, you don't ever rule out the fact he's going to put it right on someone's head. Here's Kelly. Oh, an open chance, and he pops it over the top of the crossbar. But from our angle, guys, you could see Kerr running free to that far post, and Dahlman just bending it in there perfectly.
Open the entire way on that run.
Right between the defenders, and nobody even thought to go with him. You know,
yeah, I think they're preoccupied with guys like Arena and Malota and a few others, and Dahlman just whipped it in.
Boy, that's a
look at Pasher get there. What a touch! Oh, and he nearly got it by, but left the ball behind. Zach Prince
Yeah,
got his toe on it.
Great battle here going with Pasher and Zach Prince. Zach Prince, a veteran player.
Yeah.
Been around a while. Very, very smart defender.
I think Pasher's got to
Battery.
got to calm down a little bit too, Gino. You know, he thinks he's going to do the same thing every time, and as an experienced defender, you know that, so you're reading it. So he's got to change it up a little bit and fake to go, come back with it maybe, and then knock it past him and go. Because you can beat him anyway.
I wouldn't mind seeing him just cutting straight across, you know, rather than just trying to beat Zach Prince. Because Prince has held up pretty well on him. Obviously, they're very aware of Pasher's speed.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I thought Cooper made an unreal save on that header too. For just a moment, I thought he held it out.
I agree with you, Matt. I thought, oh my God, what a save! He was able to get his hand on that one, and he did. And I think what happens when he got his hand on it to save it, but when he landed, it kind of squirted it out and went underneath. So I mean,
he was that close. He read the play. He knew it was coming, but there's only so much you can do.
And that's the toughest save for the goalkeeper. That ball is a little bit, it's low and it's below your waist, and you kind of almost at your feet, and you got to get down on that. And he did very, very well to get there. Just couldn't hold it.
Offside, the call.
Green must have been way offside and then came back, because he wasn't no close to being offside, but he came back from an offside position, I think, there. But.
So 57th minute, the Riverhounds have a long way to go, but Charleston now has to switch it into attack mode with Boyd throwing in. Kelly to Boyd. Boyd, the cross. Over there, Matt Dahlman, the shortest Riverhound on the field, got there to win that aerial ball.
It's funny you mention that. The two shortest Riverhounds hook up for the goal. And,
that's right, yes. Dahlman and Kerr. You're going to make me look for their exact heights now, because I know Dahlman's
4'2", I think.
5'5" listed, and Kevin Kerr 5'10". I'm not sure about that one, but that's what the official roster sheet would tell us.
I think that's counting Kevin Kerr's beard and
everything involved. Kevin Kerr earlier this week was not practicing with the team with a heel bruise that was holding him out. He had his own workout alongside the training session on Thursday when I stopped down to say hello, and he seemed to think he was going to be able to play, and he has looked just as he has for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Kevin's definitely something's got to be bad if he's going to be out of the game, and obviously if it's not bad, you can see his desire when he gets in there. Even whether he's got an injury, it's incredible.
Well, we said in the first half he has that injury. You could not tell because he was outrunning most of the guys on the field and covering more ground.
Kerr slides in there, but eluding his tackle was Portillo. Garbanzo, long-range blast, nowhere near the target. So the Battery have already used one of their subs. That was Kelly in the 28th minute. And as we mentioned before, 3 more names left. That's it.
And they're supposed to be a defender and 2 midfield players, but obviously I'm sure one of them's an offensive-minded player, and looks like we're getting another player coming in right now. And
Anthony Arena is down on his backside. He's going to be tended to by Leanne Calger, the Riverhounds athletic trainer.
Hey, one of the reasons the Battery is down a couple players is they have 2 guys out on international duty with Antigua and
yes, Quentin Griffith, Antigua and Barbuda, right? Exactly. He's played in 13 matches.
Yeah, so they have 2 guys that are out on international duty.
Yeah, so that's going to be a tough move right here. Arena coming out, and it looks like Figueroa.
Yeah, Figueroa. Yeah.
It's the first time in a while that we haven't seen Okioma from the start of a match. He is in the sub role for one of the few times this year. This is his 20th appearance. He started 17 matches. Okioma, the former Charlotte Eagle, played under Mark Steffens there. And, well, it's not exactly a case of playing out of position here. He should be able to slide in for Anthony Arena.
Yeah, straight swap, and actually curious with that, him sitting to begin with, and of course that was the addition of Ben Newman, because they Willie Hunt usually would be on that right side, and he put Willie Hunt back in the middle with Anthony. So it works out well. They have Fajiro off the bench to come in for that injury with Anthony Arena.
Green had some space, and he sought out Boris Zivanovic. Zivanovic now on the battle here. Looked like a bit of a shove, but play continues on after Sean Ferguson won the ball for Charleston. Garbanzo couldn't get it. Justin Portillo to Garbanzo, the two former teammates at Coastal Carolina Connect. Portillo his second year here, and Garbanzo his rookie season. But a throw in for the Riverhounds and Matt Dahlman all the way over on that far wing. His toss is to Kerr. Kerr gets it right back from Green. And to Green again. Mike Green in the middle of the field. Drives it through, and a little too far for Tyler Pasher. Too hard, in fact. It was a good spot, but just a little too much velocity.
Yeah, once you knew it hit the turf, he was going to shoot off, especially with this damp surface. So
that's the ironic part about this, well, any kind of artificial turf that's this closely cropped. When it gets wet, it actually picks up speed a little bit, as opposed to the natural grass.
Free kick to the Hounds, and Boris there battling away for that one and won the battle and got a free kick out of it.
So we'll see. I think Danny Earls will be taking this one, and I'd like to see him just keep it, and that's what we're going to do.
That's what he will do. We play very conservatively. Square to Dahlman.
That's got snow on it, that one.
Yeah.
Swings the foot through. A little too much under that, but Moloto is there to pick up the loose change.
A lot of red shirts there, Gino.
Yeah.
They are back defending at the moment. Back post cross. Kerr runs through.
I don't
Prince let it go.
Matty Dahlman, those last two balls, I mean, like Danny played it out to him, I think, just to really keep it a little bit and possess it and try to work it and not just knock those long ones in. And he did really. Nobody really in there. I mean, certainly they could have resulted in something, but I think at this stage in the game, let's try to keep it a little bit. Yeah, no need to do it.
It's kind of wishful thinking, isn't it, Gino, that you're going to get somebody on the end of it?
Flunder hammers it off the belly of Dane Kelly. It comes through, and Pasher slipped and fell down. Maybe a byproduct of that wet surface. Flunder got a foot to it to at least slow down the Charleston counter. Charleston Battery in 4th place, 39 points. The Riverhounds in 7th place, top 6 in the East, make the postseason. They're at 35 points. A game in hand, though, on the Battery and the Richmond Kickers. Richmond and Rochester, by the way, are tied. No score, 0-0 second half in Richmond.
That's no surprise to me. But that's going to be a one-goal game, maybe.
Driven over the top of Michael Chang's head, and the Riverhounds get the call on the goal kick this time, even though Chang was claiming a deflection.
The Hunts, I think, trying to slow this down a little bit and take the air out of it.
Kind of put Charleston to sleep a little bit if they can, but just got to be super careful, that's all.
Low driven ball by Brown. Pasher making life difficult for the Battery, and Mueller forced to clear it out.
Again, the player not thinking that Pasher can get there, and then all of a sudden he appears in your sight and the side of your, like in your peripheral vision. It's like, where did he come from?
Yeah, he shifts it up to another gear, and then boom, and it's all of a sudden he's on you. That you think you have time, and he just has that extra gear, and he can go and forces a difficult situation for Charleston. I want to see what Charleston does. I mean, after the goal, they seem to really respond and pick up their level a little bit.
And now they dropped a bit again.
But now it's slowed down here, and they are going to have to pick this up if they want to get out of here with at least a point.
Well, last week, the Riverhounds were able to preserve the 1-0 lead down at Louisville City, against Louisville City FC in Louisville at Slugger Field. Rob Vincent's first half stoppage time PK goal, his 5th of the year from the spot.
That's a good win there by...
Gave them all they needed. Yes, it was terrifically done by Fajiro, who makes his presence felt. Pasher cutting back again, and didn't work there. Kelly in the 1v1 battle with Willie Hunt, and Kelly got by. Dane Kelly,
3 or 4
the elusive one. He's surrounded. He lays it off. Gets
Back
it
to
right
Kelly.
back. Kelly the drive, the save by Brown, and the big rebound, but it does not come to a member of the Battery, at least right away, and then Portillo couldn't handle it. Great opportunity, driven right on target by Dane Kelly, bidding for his 10th of the year, but it's stopped by Brown, who held his ground, really, and just knocked it away.
A little bit dangerous there. You can see 4 players going to him. He drew 4 players towards him, and they were kind of all mix and match there. They lost sight of the other players.
Yeah, but a tough angle for Kelly. I mean, he's really going to have to.
He would have to put that in a perfect spot.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to beat a big man like Kelly Brown from that angle.
Moloto, Lebo Moloto of South Africa. Not much to speak of as far as chances generated by him tonight. That's been a contrast lately. Flunder had that one slide off the end of his foot, and Charleston gets the throw, and Charleston will make a substitution.
Boyd coming out.
Boyd is gone. Navion Boyd will have a seat in the 66th. And on comes Dante Marini, who scored his first pro goal against the Riverhounds back on May the 9th at Blackbaud Stadium. Marini, his second year with the Battery, and he's played in 18 matches this year coming in, or he had played in 18, now it's 19, 15 of those in the sub role. Kelly, the ball bounced not in the way he was anticipating as he swung the left foot through, but the ball was not there, and he shanked it out past the byline.
Yeah, Dolman there kind of shanked it too, and he kind of rolled in the right place for Kelly, and obviously it was spinning pretty.
Yeah, spinning
There's a weird spin on that ball.
It's a good view of the Highmark Stadium as Kelly Brown approaches that goal kick.
Fun to see the different angles, and again a nice turnout for the second to last opportunity to catch the Hounds, maybe this year, barring a home playoff match. Cooper kept that one in. It would take a lot for the Hounds to have a home playoff match at this point. They're just trying to get in. If you can get to the 4th spot, 3 and 4 seeds in the East and in the West host first round playoff matches, with 1 and 2 getting byes. Sliding tackle was a good one by Jared Van Schaik. Haven't called his name a lot tonight, but he won that ball, albeit briefly. Then the Hounds and Kevin Kerr all the way in that far corner. Flung it away, and Cooper with the left hand stops it. A reminder that you can check out Nike Soccer at nike.com/soccer, official sponsor of the USL and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, or you can follow them on Twitter at Nike Soccer. Thank them for their sponsorship of the broadcast and providing the Riverhounds kits this year. Dahlman wants the call on the throw, and
yeah, he was calling for the throw. The linesman's had his flag up
there. Yes,
it's 2 minutes, I think.
Well up the field. The ball was batted back and forth for a bit. Dahlman takes it anyway. The throw to Mike Green. But it's off his foot and back into touch.
Pushing the back again there. Then the referee's standing right there, and it gives him a nudge in the back, and he miskicks it, you know. So
there's going to be a foul.
Okiyama whistled here, and a card is out.
Whoa. Oh.
A bit unexpected, I would say, but nonetheless issued.
Yeah, tough to see from up here, but I don't know if he
first warning.
He came in studs up on that one.
First card of the match, and that might be exactly what happened there, Gene. We'll have a look here on the replay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, second one.
Was it when the foot came down and stepped on his foot?
Yeah. You see, he reaches by him, and then he bumps him with his left leg.
That's what happens there.
And then and steps again.
He should be in an acting school.
He bumped.
Juilliard, maybe?
I don't know.
I think he came through. I think he came through with his left ball. That was whether it's a booking or not. I'm not so sure.
Hazardous situation, shot by Portillo, and I think Brown got a hand to it. He did because he's retreating for the corner kick.
We'll take that, but now we've got to pick up and be real tight again now, Gino. One of these free corner kicks again.
And Portillo's been very, very good on these, and Charleston's been very dangerous getting the end. We see this, and we see Callie Brown get a big right paw on that.
Portillo getting a workout. Oh. The header goes over the crossbar on the bounce. Yeah, my goodness, Sean Ferguson, point blank, and he couldn't direct it in.
Yeah, he was over. He went over top and just headed straight down, which you want, but too much in front of the goal. Watch this. He'll come over.
That was tough not to get
right there, and he heads straight down and over the goal. If he gets that a couple yards further, there's no way we're going to stop that one. So
could have gone straight into it, I think.
Yeah, he just went straight down on him as opposed to maybe get that another yard or two forward, and that's going to be that's a difference.
And maybe down in Charleston on the natural grass that goes in. Maybe it doesn't bounce quite as high, but you have to play it a little bit differently here.
Be against Kevin Kerr.
Kerr takes out a man. And refusing the sportsmanlike gesture was Jared Van Schaik. He didn't want Kerr's help getting up. Took a slap at it. Things getting tense. Well, they've already been tense this whole evening, but tenser and tenser as we move along. 71st minute. Just a one-goal game. The Riverhounds needing 3 points. But the Battery looking for it themselves, looking for at least the tie score. The flick-on header by Mueller, grabbed by Brown,
but not as dangerous as that last one by Ferguson. So
this one Brown had some more time to react to it. Prince backtracking, as is Mueller. Mueller heads it out. Hounds will throw in. The Riverhounds in their third year at Highmark Stadium. They qualified for the playoffs in 2013. Did not last year after a very difficult start. Could not overcome it. This year, first season coached by Mark Steffens. Nice play by Pasher to keep that in. Seeking their second playoff berth in 3 seasons. Cooper with no trouble over on that far side.
Not those floaty balls coming into the box. Keepers should have no problem just picking those off. But
yeah, Sterling got a little bit too far under that one. Yeah. It wasn't much of a problem for a goalkeeper of Cooper's quality.
Yeah, I'd like us to see in this last, we went to the last 18 minutes of the game, and I'd like to see the Hounds pick it up a notch again, close players down, make it a little bit more tougher for Charleston, because time's running out for them, and that's the time to.
And we really see them, Paul, pushing some people forward a little bit more, and so
got to take.
Hounds are going to have to stay alert. They're really becoming much more direct. They're not playing as much to the midfield as they were before.
No.
And they're pushing Portillo and other guys forward. Looks like the Hounds are going to make another substitution here in a bit with Miro Cabrillo.
Cabrillo is going to come off the bench, and it looks like the sign says for number 8. It'll be 9 for 8, apparently. That's Mike Green's number.
So another straight swap forward.
And another foul call.
And again,
against Pittsburgh.
Referee's giving some calls for this team.
Yeah.
Dolman, I don't think he even saw the player coming behind him there and stabbed at the ball, and then the player went over him and went down as if it was a free kick.
So here we go with a replay.
Yeah, we'll have a second glance at it with Dolman sliding in.
Oh, yeah, that was a foul. Definitely. He got his foot caught between both of his legs.
Yeah, but again, they've been very dangerous on these with Portillo whipping these balls in.
Yep.
Another set piece. And once again, Portillo. It comes in, and boy, what a play there by Willie Hunt.
And it's not over yet.
Not yet.
It is not. It's still free in the area. Yeah. Foul against Charleston.
Yeah, I think Van Schaik sort of grabbed him a little bit, but man, they were looking for the big man Sean Ferguson coming up, and the Hounds, like you said, Matt, terrific play by Willie Hunt. Really stayed with him, wouldn't let him get across.
Did very well. Got his body there and made sure he wasn't going to get a free and easy shot. So
as we see Miro coming in for Mike Green.
Cabrillo for Green. Mike coming out.
Hopefully now when we're knocking the balls up front a little bit, we can see Miro is a little bit bigger guy than Green, can hold up the ball sometimes and hold it and wait for some support, Gino, and get him out of trouble a little bit more sharp for that ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first Riverhounds non-injury related substitution. It's their third overall. Ben Noonan came up limping in the first half. Anthony Arena in the second. Replacing them were Tyler Pasher and Fujiro Okiyama, respectively.
And well done from Willie Hunt just to switch the point of attack.
And Miro's trying to
Miro gets a touch right away. Through to Moloto, not on target. And Cooper kicks it away. Okiyama, very physical, very strong center back. Showed off those attributes there. That's off the hand of Zivanovic.
Yeah.
No, off the hand of the Charleston player.
They're going to give it to the Hounds. I swore that was off Zivanovic, but okay.
I think we're on the same page with that one, but we'll take it.
I thought it was
Boris
a free
even
kick, no?
retracted his hand. That's usually the telltale sign that he touched it.
Yeah.
The Hounds get the break, and can they generate from this? It rolls through to the byline and nearly out, but just keeping it there. Sean Ferguson almost conceding a corner kick. Okiyama on the second opportunity played it ahead a little bit further. Stepping in to swing his left foot into it was Matt Dahlman. Pasher.
Good chance here.
Moloto and Pasher. Can he get there? He's not going to win this fight, and it's off his foot last. No, it's not. It's off his Charleston foot. I thought they would give that to the Battery, but the call is made. Bernard Hosu says Riverhounds will have the
Looking for Flounder with a long throw here, I'm thinking, for a flick on, but there's nobody really in the middle.
Short one for Chabrillo, but it didn't get through to him from Flunder. Earls pins it down. Moloto allows it to come closer to him and then feeds further back to Willie Hunt. Hoisted up into the air.
Flag up.
And the assistant referee calls an offside.
I don't know whether it was offside or a free kick. He was calling a free kick from over there.
Assistant referee made the motion that the Riverhounds player went into an offside position and came back, so
maybe
I'm guessing that's what the call was. So what have we here on the far side? A deep throw for the Riverhounds right near the corner flag. In fact, Dahlman's going to backtrack and get some momentum going forward for this one. And it's well done. But Chabrillo unable to get ahead to it.
This is where we need to push up. This is the time. Look. He's letting it go out.
And out to Cooper. I was wondering if Cooper was going to throw it in, but he's taking no chances. 78th minute now. This match is bleeding away.
I'm surprised with Charleston right now. I think they've become very inactive here the last 5-10 minutes. They were really buzzing for a little bit, and you know, as they finally get something in behind the Riverhounds here. But well defended by Sterling Flunder.
Flunder, and
great job there, Sterling.
Sterling Flunder, though, he has had the opportunity to start and to play through most of these matches in the past few weeks or so. Mark Steffens turning to the veteran who entered the season as the USL's all-time leader in minutes played. He's been with the Hounds since 2010.
Oh, good flick on there.
And Moloto on the overlap run, but he has it stripped by Mueller.
Out of bounds. Throw into the Hounds.
Ruled to be out, and the Battery do not agree. But they don't have to. They will have to accept this decision with Pasher. Quick toss into Moloto in the corner. Moloto back to the goal. And this is ruled to be out off a Hound's foot. No substitutions appear to be upcoming for Mike Anhauser and the Battery, at least for right now. Anhauser up, delivering instructions to his players.
Hounds, I think, really picking up the intensity. That's not a good one for Miro, but really picking up the intensity. You can just tell a little bit. I mean, we're battling for every head ball, going up and winning every 50-50 ball at this particular point.
And that's the way it should be during the time, for sure.
I think there's sense in that, Paul, that, hey, okay, you know, we really got to tighten the ship up at this particular point.
Let's give it a free kick again here.
Yeah.
Yes, they are just, in fact, at the midfield line. Zach Prince hesitating, and scanning his options. He'll try left side.
Yeah, looking for
Rising
Ferguson
up for it was
again.
Ferguson. And he appears to be a popular target for Charleston on these.
He's a big boy, yeah. He's a big guy. Miro got clunked in the face there.
Ferguson 6'4", right up there. In fact, tied for the tallest member of the battery on their traveling party this evening. Forrest Lasso comes off the bench. In fact, actually, he's 6'5", but Ferguson, you can see why they're seeking him out.
Got to get up, yeah. Leave him all there. There's
Hounds pressing up. Yes,
five
there
battery
are.
players in there.
The battery straggling a bit. There were 3 or 4 in an offside position for a moment, but they do regain a legal spot. Zivanovic turning near the end or the sideline and played it right away to a Charleston defender, but the battery give it right back.
There will be a 20-minute autograph session on the field.
Don't really see.
Following tonight's game. Fans may enter the field at the east
Oh,
end.
great job
That was
there,
off
man.
the
nice
Miro
touch.
Chabrilo. Good play continues on.
This could be it.
Putting it back.
Free into the box.
Pass
What do we
wide
do?
open. Oh.
Play it back. And Chabrilo was further back toward the 18-yard box,
Kevin
the edge
went
of the
for a
box.
little roll back there to Chabrilo, and
He just wanted anybody to run into the box. I think.
Tyler Pasha though standing by himself at the back post, and I don't think Kevin could spot him.
One of the rare times Kevin Kerr has gotten into a spot like that and hasn't made a great play, but the chemistry was not quite there with Miro, who I thought handled the ball near the sideline. The Riverhounds got away with another one, and it nearly led to a great scoring opportunity. And here might be an edge for Tyler Pasher. Was he
got
tripped?
there.
I thought he was, but he does not draw the call.
He stumbled.
Might have tripped over his own
I
foot.
think he just got his feet caught in the turf a little bit. He tried to do a little bit of a move. Let's see it.
I think
Don't
he
know
got,
if Mueller got a piece of my, he tripped. He got a little piece of his heels, maybe.
clipped him, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I honestly
never
thought
mind.
that would have been called, but play allowed to continue on. Turning move by Miro
well
Chabrilo.
done by Miro.
It is all about possession at this moment for the Riverhounds. 8 minutes away from stoppage time. Flunder overlapping with Pasher, albeit briefly. Now Flunder will double back with Maloto feeding Hunt. Hunt back to Callie Brown. He puts that strong foot to it. Lifts that one high. It's a back spinner. Ferguson. Portillo.
And a
Prince.
big way one.
Prince up the field. Kelly running, but he just got bumped enough by Fajiro Okioma.
Yeah, well done from Callie Brown. Just take a few more seconds off the clock.
Sure.
Let that go by him.
And a substitution, too.
Let the goal kick go for a goal kick and allow for substitution.
Forrest Lasso entering for Ajeti, Emmanuel Ajeti out in the 83rd. Lasso, former all-conference player at Wofford College, all-Southern Conference. He enters. Lasso listed as a defender out of Rolla, North
Well
Carolina.
done there, Miro again winning that one, but
Odisnell Cooper, the battery keeper, hasn't been tested too often, nearly made a spectacular save to keep this one scoreless, but Kevin Kerr's goal in the 52nd minute is the only one of this match. Can the Hounds win 1-0 again? They seemed allergic to that final score for the first 2/3 of the season, but they'd be just fine with that result.
That's
now.
gonna be against Danny Heroes.
no, against...
No, it's
What?
okay. He was pointing. I think the
no, he's book-
official got confused there for a moment, and pointed the wrong direction.
He's booking
Bernard
Danny Earls.
Hosu, and Earls gets another card.
I don't think this guy's an actor.
I mean,
Again.
well,
Scarbanzo again.
he caught a little elbow, but he runs right into Danny Earls. I mean, it wasn't intense. That's not
Exactly.
booking. I mean, maybe if he wants to call a foul,
I think he called the green card on Kerr, didn't he? For arguing with him.
Oh, is that what that was? I
think
didn't see
I'm
that.
not
I
sure.
thought it was on Earls.
I thought it was on Danny Earls.
Not sure on the official booking there. I guess we'll find out after the match. Flick on attempt by Ferguson sliding through, or pardon me, that's
Lasso.
Forrest Lasso now.
Yeah,
Yes.
Lasso. They put Lasso up top. It looks like they've dropped Prince back to the outside back because they take a Jetty out of the back. So they're adding yet another guy up front. obviously looking for the big man up top with with maybe he can win some balls in the air, win some flicks, and knock some through to Dane Kelly.
Yeah, sure.
Brown hammers it upfield.
Oh, well done by Miro.
Miro.
Oh, look at Cooper here.
Further for Pasher, but a little too far. It had too much steam on it coming through, but well done again by Chabrillo.
And Russell coming on.
Drew Russell will enter the
Miro
forward.
Miro coming back now to pick up Lasso.
Ivanovic for Boris.
I don't know who's picking up Kelly, but
number 17.
Russell enters in the 86th.
Number 18, Boris Zalanovic.
And that is the Hounds' 4th substitution. They have one more if they choose. Charleston has used 3.
yeah, they're just going to hit these balls into the box.
They played
Lasso
Kelly,
nods it through, and
exactly
Wonder
what we just said.
cleared off the body.
Lasso wins that, and Kelly's playing through, so they're looking for trying to find him and get something on.
Van Schaik to Zach Prince, confronted by 2 Riverhounds. He gets rid of it, and it's crossed by Marini, and no one home for
Callie Brown said,
Charleston.
thank you very much for that one. It's like that was an easy one, no problem out of that cross.
Right into his chest. We'll check the out-of-town scoreboard again. It's still scoreless.
Oh, what a great ball that is.
And Rochester.
Kevin Kerr again.
Well,
Russell got it to Kevin Kerr. He steps
Russell
into the area. The cross for Russell, and
good save by Mueller.
Mueller came in, and Mueller is screaming at the assistant
They're not
referee.
very happy. They want an offside.
It's not going to happen there. It'll be a corner kick for Pittsburgh. First corner this half, I believe.
I mean, I think he was on.
It was tight.
I was behind, a little bit behind Mueller, but credit to Mueller, man. He was there. Kevin tried to find Russell.
Yeah.
And a terrific defensive play by Charleston. Keep the 1-goal lead.
Putting in a substitute again, using the 5th substitute, Riverhounds.
Here's the cross from Dolman. Russell leaping and put it wide. Drew Russell is due a goal this year. He's had so many opportunities. The one in the DC United game stands out, nearly tied it in extra time. He's had some looks, and he's out there right now sprinting toward the near touchline with Prince getting rid of it. Dangerous ball. Brown is out to snatch it away from Michael Chang, slicing through. 88th minute.
Yeah, Chang. Callie Brown well off his line and booms that punt on.
Did he ever? All the way to the opposing 18-yard box.
That one did have snow on it, I think. They got it up high enough too.
So Marasuma coming on.
Yeah.
For Lebo Moloto, it looks like.
So Coach Mark Steffens looking for some pace here late. Suma can provide it.
I think he's using some time as well, Matt. He's trying to use up a minute or so of time, and
just add that a little bit. And
Moloto gives the crowd a hand.
Just get some fresh legs to pressure Charleston and run a little bit. And
hopefully, yeah.
Charleston, we said, Paul, I thought like 10, 15 minutes ago, just seemed a little dead and didn't have much legs going on.
No, and we said we needed the Hounds to kind of pick it up a notch, and it's kind of they did that and kept possession a little bit more.
They really, really have, and just I've never sensed, except for about 8 minutes maybe after the Hounds scored, I've never sensed any urgency here from Charleston.
No. Now they're trying to put it on with these long balls down the middle, and
of course the Hounds have made a good adjustment. They have Miro Chabrillo rather than playing forward. He's back there trying to pick that up, as Charleston is putting a lot of players forward.
And that's a good ball down the line for
that's exactly
Russell.
Kerr drove it deep. Russell is there. Drew Russell colliding with Mueller, but Russell comes out of there with the ball. Drew Russell sliding it through. Pasher couldn't collect. Tries again, doubles it back and drives. It's blocked. Pardon me. Russell sliding in and could not get his foot to it.
The referee played on.
Dramatic moment for the Hounds, nearly getting the second.
That ball deflected off there. Looked like Mueller was waiting for Cooper to come out and pick it up. But I don't, and then all of a sudden he wasn't. But I think that's a little bit to expect from your goalkeeper who's waiting for a shot there, and all of a sudden, you got to stay with that.
But there's a ball in.
Oh, well won
We
there.
have 3 minutes extra time coming up, it appears.
Jiro Okiyama's, since he's come on, has been very, very solid in the
Very
air.
strong in the air.
Really, really.
And he's got to be
cleaned
now
that
for
up
the
like
last
he
3.
really has to be, yeah.
The flick taken by Flunder, and here's Pasher on the back track, winning that aerial battle against Zach Prince. Prince plays it square.
3 minutes of
switching to the far wing.
stoppage time.
3 minutes to survive for the Riverhounds. They're 3 minutes away from home victory number 7.
Oh, that's
Pasher, a foot to it. He wanted an offside call. It's Marini. Marini playing it through.
And now Charleston is
Still
moving.
free, and it's lifted over the top on the broken play. And I want to say that was Portillo over there. Just missing.
Yeah, Charleston playing with some urgency there, that last little flurry, and really putting a lot of numbers into the box.
This game's not over yet. We've just got to calm it down and get possession and try and hold it for that minute or so. That's a
Russell Akin lunges back,
really,
and that time he's called for the foul.
excellent.
And he
I don't
comes up a bit gimpy.
And here comes that long one
Zach
again.
Prince knocking up the big
Lifted through, and
tackle.
that's
It's like
going to be
they're
a call
gonna
against Forrest
yeah,
Lasso.
Yeah,
This guy, though.
Chirrier against Lasso. They got tangled up there. I mean, Lasso was backpedaling, and Miro was trying to get his footing to get up for the win the air ball, and they both went down. As you can see, I think we'll see it here. But yeah,
I don't think it was
just
kind of not deliberate. I think they just stumbled
no,
over.
it wasn't deliberate. You see Miro, the expression on his face. He's like, I'm just looking at the ball the whole time, and I think that's one of the indicators referees always have to look for. Where are the eyes? I mean, Miro wasn't looking to trip that.
They got a lot of guys over there on the left side for a cross.
It's a 4-man wall. It appears for the Riverhounds. No, it's going to be 3 as Earls pries himself loose. Hunt's getting up there to win it. And coming through is Suma. The Steel Army has a big cheer for that. And Suma strips it away. Amara Suma on the gallop. Oh, and he gave it away with Pasher up ahead. Can the Hounds make something of it? It's Dahlman knocking it back through.
A heavy touch, man.
He just got to have to calm down, and he had 3 players going with him.
All he had to do was lay it into open space there on the left wing.
Yeah, just lay it out there.
Earls battling. The ball's still up in the air. Giving up Garbanzo's drive. It's deflected. And who is back there? Is that Dahlman? Yes. Oh, my. What a play. The Hounds getting a couple of heroic efforts here in the final moments. Trying to hang on. And, oh, my, Charleston wanted that penalty kick call, but they aren't going to get it, as it looked like Marini was already on his way down when he was bumped.
And here comes a long
It'll
throw.
be a throw by Prince. It'll be headed clear.
No,
and in. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable is right.
It happened again.
2:48 on my watch as far as the stoppage time is to go.
Who even ends up with that goal? Garbanzo shot it, and did it hit a Riverhound or did it hit another member of the battery? Well, celebrating here is Michael Chang.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a look at it to see what happened, but it's another stoppage time goal against.
And that looked like the flick came off of Danny. Yeah, and that's Chang. Yeah, it's Chang.
Yep, he's patting his chest saying it's mine. Yep. And a deft deflection from Chang off the shot from Garbanzo. That'll be how it goes.
And we had a chance right before that with Sonoma.
Yeah, Suma. Just all you had to do is play it across. That's a killer for
another
Pittsburgh
heartbreaking draw for the Riverhounds.
Heartbreaking draw. I mean, it's just the points we've given away at home and stoppage time and late in the game is difficult.
90 plus 3 is that time of the goal. Chang getting his 3rd. El Chino, as they call him in Charleston, comes through in the clutch. And the Riverhounds again here at home. I mentioned they've been so good, but they have coughed up 3 leads in stoppage time, and Mark Steffens,
not
you don't see
happy
this
with-
too often.
No.
He and Josh Reif, the
I
assistant
think he's
coach,
upset with the free kick that he
barking at
gave
the
in the beginning,
officials.
to be honest with you.
Because it was just, as we said,
Two players colliding.
Yeah, a couple players colliding on that play. You didn't, you see Miro's eyes are completely looking for the ball.
Yeah.
And
Had no
Lasso
intention of
backs
tripping
into him,
over,
and they
yeah.
just got tangled up and fell.
And look at Danny Earls over there on the far side of the field. You see Kevin Kerr talking to Amara Suma.
He's talking to Suma, like, where are you going with that touch? All you got to do is play it across the field, and
there's
it's
three
game
players,
over.
yeah.
It's game over
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
over.
Yep, and Okioma breaks that up before it gets any uglier. But
Well, it's frustration
right,
on
you
the
can't,
players.
you
I
can't
mean,
really blame the Riverhounds for
lack of effort. I mean,
And
but
for
it's
Charleston,
frustrating.
this is like a win for them to pull that one out, and it's a huge point for them on the road.
And you can look at Danny coming down.
Yeah, Danny
And
Earls
that's-
is devastated, man.
Danny Earls, sorry,
that
yeah.
guy does. When he walks off the field, there's nothing left every game, and he battled and gave it everything the entire game.
Sure.
So the Riverhounds will have to go to the road now for 2 of their final 3, and they're going to need at least one win on the road, one would imagine, to qualify for the playoffs. As it is right now, they are tied with Charlotte, barring any future results here. Actually, Charlotte is in a 2-2 draw with Wilmington, so it could be just a momentary tie for that 6th and final playoff spot. Also, Rochester and Richmond in a deadlock at 0. So, guys, your quick final thoughts. It's hard to believe, but it happened again here at Highmark Stadium. Another 2 points given away by Pittsburgh.
Well, it's a gut wrencher, you know what I mean, for the team. They were in it, they were out of it for a little bit, and kept in the game and did a great job, and wanted to so badly make sure that Charleston didn't get on the board, and then you get a flick on and somebody gets a touch on it. It's just frustrating. It all came from a free kick too that shouldn't have been a free kick. So
And they're just going to have to continue to battle. I mean, we've been saying all along that they have to overcome these opportunities, and they have to continue to battle throughout the rest of the season and try to pick up the necessary points.
Yep.
Well, thank you for watching this evening on 22 The Point. Next Riverhounds home game on Wednesday, September the 16th against the Rochester Rhinos. For Gene Klein and Paul Child, I'm Matt Geica saying good evening from Highmark Stadium.
good night.
Good night.